Hello, my name is Ethan, and welcome back to another episode of Path of Exile Archnemesis League 3.17. In this episode, I'll be doing my final build guide showcase for the Carrion Golems, where I'm really happy it's like 40, 50, 60 million damage, ridiculous deep. So I'm going to show a 2-man Maven, 2-man Uber Elder, every invitation, super juice, 70 plus quant, didn't even really care about the mods, just getting the high quant. I hope you guys enjoy the showcase, and I'll also be going through the build and all the gems, all the gear, all the suggestions, everything I can help you with. I really like Carrion Golems right now. If you've ever played Carrion Golems, like the video. Let's get 200 likes in 3 days on this video. Thank you guys so much for the support, and if you guys are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Let's do it. We have all 6 invitations ready to go. We have the formed. Let's go. Boom. The minnow. He's dead. Hydra's dead. And he's dead. And he's dead. Conqueror map, 6 crescent splinters. Sorry to break up the video, but I just wanted to apologize for the broken audio for the whole gameplay of the whole video. The whole stream didn't have any audio. Nobody even told me. I didn't figure it out till today, and I finally fixed it. It took a long time, but GG, now the audio is fixed, and we can hear the Twisted with these mods. He's dead. He's dead. He's dead. He's dead. Orb of Conflict. The Forgotten. Release all bosses at the same time. Wait. Release all bosses at the same time. The Forgotten. Never forget about this one. Yes, more. Water. Don't you love water sounds, guys? I do too. Yep. Copium. Water. And they're all dead. Now we got the Elderlslayers minus max res. The Baron is dead. Drox is already weakened. We'll kill this guy now. Fairytanya's dead. And back to the guy who went immune phase because, you know, Drox. He's dead. The Feared with 78 quant. The Shaper. That's the Shaper. He's dead. That's the... What the hell's his name? Fucking Chayula. Here's Uber Ziri. Oh, he teleported me and one-shotted me. I also forgot to put back in my stone golem. On 5. Forgot to summon the stone golem. Whatever. Can't we kill him? Yeah. I took a death. Oh, a full Maven's Writ. Ruby Flask. How is there so much water, dude? There's so much water, man. There's just infinite water. The water just never stops. Infinite water. It's a miracle. The hidden. The hidden, here we go. Yes, sir. The hidden is so crazy. GG. Orb of Conflict. In a while. Literally the broken build. Ready? Why you, man? Why she doesn't like you? Oh. Right, up, right, up, right, up. This fucking bitch. Portal me. Portal me. There it is. Like 50. Searing. Hello! Hope you guys enjoyed the gameplay. Build's insane. Have had a great time, pretty much. I highly recommend Carrion Golem. Now I'll sell you guys on the POB, and then I'll actually go through each individual section as an actual guide. So, to sell you on the build, POB style, 58 million DPS, this is counting Brittle Ground, so the 5% base crit, this is counting Animate Guardian, this is an Assassin's Mark. When you look at your carry-on golems, you got the statistics, 100 impale, 99 crit, because they got the 99 accuracy, because it's against a level 100 Cyrus, so you know you actually have a 10. This enemy doesn't exist. Let's just say it's even harder than reality in the game. So this is real when you actually brittle an Assassin's Mark. Yes, pretty insane. Technically you wouldn't have 100% impale, because well you kind of it does, but you know you don't, because you won't hit every hit. But then the other thing is 4400 life, 1500 regen. This is with Bottled Faith, on a Bottled Faith, sitting on it. Oh, am I on it? Yeah, I'm on it. Yep. And then the other one was 32,000 armor, 33,000 evasion, and against. So I show Cyrus, level on 100 Cyrus. If we take off, we have bone armor. That's our guard skill. So let's assume that. Fizz hit is 620. The Ellies are the bigger, and then it's chaos. You can see that our Fizz hit against a level 100 Cyrus is actually pretty good mitigation with this amount of armor. And it's actually the elemental that you take more damage from, and that's with elemental flasks, and that's because we don't have a brass dome, but we have the +1 max elemental res. Then you can see that our dot life is really shit to fizz and chaos, but pretty good to elemental. So that's the build's pretty tanky, but it's not like you're gonna AFK in the middle of everything. But then the damage is completely absurd. Now I'll run you guys through, and you know you have unkillable minions. You don't have to worry about them, and they're mobile as shit. And then we have the explosions from the Animate Guardians. We have some of the best clear we've ever had. We have some of the best single target we've ever had. We have really good survivability. Like I'd say really good. It's not hardcore AFK, everything viable, but the damage is so absurd that you can't do this kind of damage while also AFKing everything. Yeah, this is really, really strong though. Now I'll break down the build guide for you. Alright, let's go through the skills. So, I'd like to first start it off with Ashes of the Stars, quality to all skill gems. So the skill gems have extra quality, so that's why this will be a running theme for these skills. So, let's start it off. In a 3-link, Divergent Dread Banner, the extra quality Corruption for the extra chance to impale, and then this also gets the quality from the amulet, so it goes up to 53%. And then, so it gives a lot of impale chance. Just this alone is 76% impale, because I have the helmet enchant. You don't need this, but it's nice. And I have the generosity, and that gets me to the 100%, which is a huge amount of damage. As you can see, it says 22 million on my full, which is of 58. In just a single 10% aura. And then I use Divergent Generosity because it gives the AoE. It does increase the reservation cost of these other two, but they don't have very high base, so it's not that big. But we do it for the AoE to increase the AoE of the Dread Banner, so that your Dread Banner is radius of 77 if you use, for example, Awakened Generosity. We can even have a level 6, I don't care, doesn't matter to me. 66 radius, so I do the Divergent Generosity for the AoE, and then it also works on the Precision, and the Precision is increased reservation efficiency for the saving some mana, and I got a 2023 because PogChamp. And then the reason why you run Precision is because I showed you that the accuracy on your Carrion Golems is actually inaccurate against a level 100 Cyrus, which doesn't exist, but technically an enemy can blind your thing, or like may have higher evasion or whatever, so then you can start to see that without the accuracy it's even worse. So you like having this extra accuracy, and just the accuracy can be a big damage boost. It's also some crit chance, but really it's the accuracy. That amount of flat accuracy when the mastery for a minion on the tree is only 250, but then it allows you to get 700 through an aura, and the aura, just back to the aura stuff, Precision radius 104 with this Generosity. Pretty good, pretty cool. You can link it to Generosity because you don't need the Precision because you don't attack. Back to the skills, we got the Skitterbots, Awakened Unbound Ailments. This one's interesting. I did anomalous Skitterbots this time because I wanted the AoE, and then it also gets scaled by the amulet, so it's 50% AoE on Skitterbots, which, so like if you have the old one and now it's 50% AoE, that's a lot extra AoE. It's a lot more consistent, a lot more reliable. I like it. And then Unbound Elements increases the effect, and it doesn't increase the mana that much. Look at the damage. The damage is 10. This is like a third of it for only a tiny bit of mana. It's the gem that's the most cost, honestly. Then you have Vitality. Big life regen. Dash is my permanent. Sorry. Divergent Vitality gets you damage while on full life for the minions. You can also do the AoE, but it doesn't really matter. And I don't want to do the leech because if it doesn't have the AoE, then it's not as consistent. So I'd rather do the damage just so it does something. Does that make any sense? And the flat life regen isn't that great for the minions. So it's either the leech or the damage on full life, and the leech isn't consistent enough because you don't have the AoE. It's so weird. So then Divergent Dash for the phasing, you get 5 seconds of phasing with the amulet. What the heck? Permanent phasing with dash, 2-second cooldown. Stone Golem in this build. So I have one extra golem with Forbidden Flame, Forbidden Flesh, because I'm a Necromancer, and I have Elemancer in the build allocated for free. Like I have a 5th Ascendancy, Forbidden Flesh, Forbidden Flame, Elemancer. You can also do Liege of the Primordial to get an extra golem, and I also have the Golem Commander through the amulet, right? So we have 5 golems. One of my golems I used for a stone golem, and that one stone golem I did anomalous, and then he gives me 574 regen, and that's counting the Bottled Faith that I had. Like, so I'm at 700 normally, and this is 574, so this is almost doubling my regen. And then he also does some good damage. Like, he's not useless. It also increases the damage because Primordial Harmonies give you more increased damage per golem type. And when you only have Carrion Golem, it's only 1 golem, but now I have 2 golems. So I actually gained golem damage. That's the other weird thing. Did I remember to put 4 Carrion in here? Yeah, it's 4 Carrion. Did I put 1 stone and include it? I did. Perfect. Perfect. Then we have our trigger wand. So in this one, crit multi fractured. This comes from Delve. Pre-fractured. You can also fracture it yourself and try to get more. It comes 30 to 38, and I have a crit modifier from Heist. So then this wand is a +2, which I've shown multiple times how to get the +2. The crit multi doesn't get removed, obviously. And then I got the trigger through the Ashling Veil, and we got the 4-second trigger. And in there, we're triggering Desecrate Flesh Offering, and it's in this order. So it does the corpses, then it consumes them. and the life tab makes it so it costs life instead of mana, and that's why I like life instead of CI, because you can't do it as CI. And then I do Divergent Desecrate for the extra corpse, and it works with the amulet, so it's 150% chance to get an additional corpse. So you actually get 6.5 corpses. And Divergent Flesh Offering for the extra attack speed. Pretty good damage. Pretty good. And you can also increase it with the Mastery for the increased effect of offerings. Then we have these 4 auras, 4 link. So Enlightened 4. And then it's Pride, and I like normal Pride for the AoE, just like the other ones. I'll show you again. I am a huge proponent of this. Holy shit, 85 Pride. That's the biggest Pride you've ever seen. I thought Pride was small. Yeah, 68. And it's still not that bad, right? But 85. Yo, let's go, dude. Thanks, GGG. That's cool as fuck. Amy's sick. Give me more. I want more AoE. Yup. So then I did the Divergent Determination with the Ami. Gives you the extra evasion as extra armor, but really you can just go with the normal one to get your minions the extra armor consistently. I like Divergent, obviously more expensive, better. This one you don't need it. Foul Grace, pretty good. Then in my Carrion Golem 6 link, a lot of people ask about this. So Carrion Golem, Awaken Brutality, Awaken Multi, Awaken Melee Fizz, Awaken Minion Damage. And I showed you we got 100 Impale without Impale support. So basically Impale support would just be the Impale effect. And you would have to use this basically on multiple minions if you were actually using it for the chance. Like, yeah, so I like Ruthless, and then people will ask about crit damage. Okay, so let me show you these two. I've done this a bunch, but yeah, crit damage can show more in POB, but that's assuming right now with the brittle, so I'll just disable brittle because this means I have to walk on the enemy. Just this change. Now it's 10 to 9.5, and then there's also power charges, so let's say I'm at 2 power charges instead of 3 power charges, which is crit chance. And now it's 8.5 to 8.4. So this is why I say I like Ruthless. Then there's also the fact that the Ruthless stuns and your Carrion Golems attack really fast, so the stun's really consistent. And then also sometimes you get a mod on the enemy that reduces the crit damage you do. So honestly, Ruthless is sick. And then the third attack, the Ruthless Blow, works so well with the multi and the big hit to get like through all the through all the enemy defenses. Those, like, it's kind of, the crit damage can do the similar thing when you crit the bigger hit, deleting more armor, being more effective. It's a thing. Yeah, Ruthless is similar. Maybe more consistent, maybe better, maybe doesn't need the other thing. I don't know. This is my point overall. I like the one that doesn't require the other things, and maybe it's also including Assassin's Mark, and that's some base crit chance, and if I didn't click that on the enemy, then the Ruthless is even better. Okay, continuation. Oh, and Awaken Brutality as Crush, which is the enemy loses physical damage reduction, which is actually so fucking good for the Impale and the physical damage, and to mess up the enemy's armor. And the Awaken Melee Fizz with the intimidating 10% increased damage is pretty nice from attacks. But the Crush is massive. The Crush is massive, dude. And them giving us Overwhelm 20% physical damage reduction on this offense mastery is so huge. Actually so big. Back to this. Then we have Assassin's Mark. You get base crit. So I showed you that they can get up to, if they had 100% accuracy, this would be 100% crit. If you take off this Assassin's Mark, you lose the crit. But it's still pretty close with just the Brittle Ground. I needed to show one more thing. I did normal Carrion Golem. And then people will ask, how many harmonies? This is 2 harmonies. And they're 45, 44. So 89 cooldown recovery rate on the golems. I'd say about 85 plus is fine, especially when we had the higher attack speed and some and the big damage. Like it's fine. I found that, yeah, you can do that. And then you don't need the cooldown recovery rate. And then this one with the amulet is really amplified. Like, you really need the damage and the life from it. The life isn't that important, but it's just such a high value in the quality. Like, so much stats. And then in the helmet, you can do Anomalous Spectre 2120, and this one gives you minion life instead of move speed. Anomalous Feeding Frenzy for recover life on hit. And then we have the zombie normal one is just life and move speed. You can also do the regen. Regen seems pretty good too. And then I did this specific cool AG, Anomalous AG, because we're doing the Explode AG with the Crusader chestplate, where he explodes with the Gravebind glove and the vulnerability, and he curses everything. So he has 150 AoE, and the AoE applies to the chestplate. You should watch that video. And he still has 95,000 to 105,000 life in game. That's what I recommend when you look at the tooltip in the game. That's what you want to see. If it doesn't have that, it's risky. You should also watch my video on what else you need for your Animate Guardian, more specifically. But the Ami and Animate Guardian, yep. Then we have Bone Armor left click, because we don't use a guard skill. You can use Val Molten Shell combination with the Bone Armor, because we found out that it stacks. You're able to use both. It doesn't put the Bone Armor on cooldown, and the Bone Armor doesn't remove Val Molten Shell. Yep. Commandment of the Grave is from my glove, so you can do a lab, and you can enchant your glove for trigger Commandment of the Grave when your skills or minions kill, and this actually summons extra minions, and these minions count for your Carrion Golems, because your Carrion Golems actually do extra damage for non-golem minions nearby, up to 10, so like 50% more damage. So you need non-golem minions nearby your Carrion Golem, so having more minions like Skitterbot, zombies, AG, Spectres, or these from this glove enchant, trigger Commandment of the Grave when your skills or minions kill, highly recommend this. And then GG, your Carrion Golems are doing even better. Nice. So those are all the skills. I want to go through the tree now. So it's pretty cool. I want to go through the minion defense masteries first. So for the minion defenses, pretty much I took the minion defense, Grave Intentions, and the Indom Army, and my minions are sitting at 83 elemental res mostly, with this 8% and the 20 from down here, so you get the 28, and then the 15 from here, so they get the 43, and they're fat. They normally start with 40, so they go to 83, except for the one Spectre that's missing a little bit on one of the elemental res, and the other one that's missing the other elemental res. Otherwise, they have 83, and then they have a ton of life. They should have the 75 chaos. They're actually overcapped chaos a little bit because of Grave Intentions, 2 Dread Marches. And then they have a bunch of physical damage reduction because of the 20% from these, and then the extra 15 from here. Then they also have the bunch of regen, you know, through the renewals that I have. They'll have the one source of leech, 1%. I have the 8% all maximum elemental reses. This is why they actually go over normal max res, elemental res, from 75 to 83. Then you actually have to get the elemental res too. And then this is to stop the bleeding from killing them, because they don't have that good physical damage reduction. And then the 2 masteries, yeah, leech and that one, and we have the regen from here. Okay, so then let's go into, took the Indom Army, the Grave Intentions, we got Lord of the Dead, this. Okay, the 3 offense masteries, overwhelm, physical damage reduction, we got the increased effective offering and the crit chance. I pointed out that the accuracy could be pretty good, but that small amount of accuracy just isn't enough. It's decent early game or for other builds or whatever, but when we increase the level of our minions, then the base amount is higher than the 250. Yeah, the 250 is cool though. So those are the 3 masteries here. This increased crit chance is really nice, because that's like 5% crit basically, and With Brittle, it's like 10% crit, and with Assassin's Mark, that's 11.5% crit when you're trying to get, like, that's really what it means, basically. It's kind of nice. So then the life masteries, you got life, flat life. We did this is new. I started doing the increased max life and the reduced life recovery rate. So we found out that this is worth it. You can see that you gain so much life, and the life regen, well, it's nice, but that amount of life won't be made up in life regen if you're one-shotted. So that is the trade-off. And vitality reservation, sick. Then I did reservation, so solvenarity, area of effect of the aura skills, mana reservation, and then we get the AoE from this one. Somewhat wanted to do the extra influence, you know, but it's cool. And then we come down here and did the intuitive leap for the charisma and the extra reservation, and we also have the grace reservation efficiency. Is that already everything? And besides the extra jewels and clusters, pretty much. Let's go through jewels and clusters now. Let's start with the larges. So I just have 2 large clusters with renewal, running claws, vicious bite, and then you allocate all of it. It's an 8 passive item level 75 large cluster. You skip 1 node, 7 points for all that. And like I pointed out, we have the 100% impale, so we get the 24 from the 2 rotting claws. And then the 76 from the Dread Banner, and it's through the Helm enchant. You don't need it, but it is better than having 90 something. Like, having the extra impale is worth it. Getting to 100 is still good. It's still better. I'm still right about that. And Vicious Bite with this crit setup is really good. Crit with impale works, by the way, so this is really strong. And then renewal with the regen, and also a small note, renewal with this Forbidden Flame, Forbidden Flesh Elemancer is slightly better than Liege of the Primordial, because it's better to have your golems immune to elemental damage rather than the golems getting respawning when they die, because my golems don't respawn, so they don't need to respawn when they die. And then the second part is this gives you, I think, 125 golem effect, because it's 25% per golem, and I have 5 golems, where the other one is just a flat 100% golem buff effect. So it's actually 25% extra buff effect through Elemancer. It's slightly better. There's 2 benefits: the renewal, and I really think it helps. The elemental immunity is insane. There's so many times where the enemy is only doing elemental, and your golems are immune. Literally immune. Especially the fact that you could do the Elemancer and stack Dread Marches, and now you get all the physical damage reduction, all the chaos res, and your golems are immune to elemental damage. Yep. If only they could also be CI, and then they only have to worry about physical. Okay, back to the... Okay, and then, yeah, so the mediums are 4 to 5 passive Dread March renewals. You could do 6 passive, but then you have to take an extra point, and I don't recommend that. Don't do it. 4 or 5 for Dread March renewal. Very easy to craft for that one. And then the jewels I'm using, the main ones: Anima Stone, Primordial Harmonies, 2 of them, and Primordial Might. So the corruptions, I have chance to avoid stun. I do have 100% chance to avoid stun in the build through 25% here, 15% through a harvest implicit. This one was a corruption. We have 25% through a corruption, another 20% through a corruption, another 15% through harvest on a Watcher's Eye. Yep. Okay, and then the harmonies, I prioritized summoned golems have 45% increased cooldown recovery rate, because I'm trying to get the golem to have increased cooldown recovery rate, and everyone always asks, why? Combo attack, Ethan, the cooldown doesn't matter. It doesn't help me. I want to do eminence. What about this, guys? What's a cascade? So the cooldown, 3.2. It starts at 6. We got it to 3.2. Feels good, man. Multi-strike works on that. That's its AoE. Leap Slam is its mobility. It starts at like 4, we got it down to 2.145, because it's almost 100% cooldown recovery rate. I highly recommend getting it down to about 2 seconds with the 2 harmonies with 40 plus cooldown recovery rate. And then you don't have to run an alt quality Carrion Golem, and you can just go for a normal one where you get extra damage out of the amulet. It's actually sick. Highly recommend it. And now you actually understand it more a little bit. And then the increased golem damage is cool, but it's only 18. It's only 20 golem damage. It's not big. And then the difference from 16 to 20 is only 4. Does that make sense, guys? It starts at 16 and goes up to 20. So it only goes up 25%. Where the 30 to 45 starts at 30, goes up to 45. It goes up 50% from where it started. So definitely the summoned golem's cooldown recovery rate is a better one to get maxed. Okay. So then intuitive leap. So I could jump to the charisma and the thing, and I can get the extra reservation. My primordial might is so that the golems are aggressive, and to get the other minions aggressive, we use feeding frenzy, and feeding frenzy only makes the minions linked to it aggressive. So, you know, rest in peace. So that's why we have to use the primordial might. And someone might ask, well, Ethan, can you use the minions are aggressive wand instead of a crit multi wand? And I'll just put it like this. So you take out one of these wands, you lose that mod, crit multi, and you get minions are aggressive. So you don't have to run primordial might, and now you can run one eminence. So it's basically 20% attack speed versus 38 crit multi, and I found that crit multi was better. There's also the one harmony, and I just found that I found that the crit multi was better, because the crit multi is like 2.5 vicious bites. It's actually insane. Even at the base roll, the 30%, it's 2 vicious bites. That's a lot of crit. That's a lot of crit multi. Yep. The Watcher's Eye, I got physical damage reduction while affected by haste. Determination, and the spell suppression with grace. And then we're actually at 102 spell suppression. So I thought about something. I can do the Orb of Conflict on the glove to get extra minion damage, but it's pretty minor for where we're at, dude. But I could do that. Lower the spell suppression, raise the minion damage, even just recraft the spell suppression after, get the minion damage to perfect. It's sick. Then we have Forbidden Flash, Forbidden Flame Jewels, like I told you, buff for the Elderlslayers. Really cool. Some other options you could have is, like I said, Liege of the Primordial. You could also just go for a Plague Bringer. You could go for 2 Primordial Eminences are just good. You could go for an Abyss Jewel, Ghastly Jewel. You could go for Cobalt, Crimson Jewel, Cobalt Jewel with minion accuracy, because I mentioned how the minion accuracy is relevant. You could go Mistress of Sacrifice with Bone Offering, so that you're super tanky. It's also viable. There's also the option of running Unnatural Strength or Commander of Darkness or Bone Barrier, and then you path to Mistress of Sacrifice yourself, for example. You don't actually have to take one of the other ones. You could take one of these since you're a Necro, and you could just take it yourself. There's many options. There's even, you could take Bastion of Elements if you really wanted to. I'm just pointing out that you're not hard stuck into just that. Now, I guess I'll go through the final thing, the actual main items and Flasks. Alright, for items, Mage Blood, and I enchanted this with the Gift, or Dedication to the Goddess, and then you can do Belt Enchants, and there's 2 Belt Enchants I wanted. This one, because I get phasing with the dash, or the phase run, or the haste, phasing Watcher's Eye. The other thing was there's reduced effect of curses on you while affected by or while on consecrated ground, and then you already have reduced effect of curses on you while on consecrated ground from your Ball of the Faith, so then you'd basically be immune to curses with that enchant, which was really cool, I thought, because you could automate the Ball of Faith with your use when charges reach full, instilling orbs, and then your other 4 flasks are also automated, so you don't even have to press them. So we had the Silver Flask, immune to shock with the increased effect, you know, from the enkindling orbs, Sapphire Flask. So there's my shock immune. Then I had the Topaz Flask with the regen. You get this from a Cinder Swallow June Unveil. This Topaz Flask, less lightning damage, increased effect 95. And then we got from an Enkindling Orb Ruby Flask, increased effect with the increased evasion, less fire damage taken, easy. And then Quicksilver, increased armor, increased effect, move speed. Boom. There's my Mage Blood setup. And I could also have swapped out the evasion for move speed, because I didn't actually have move speed on the Quicksilver, so you could get an extra like 20-30 move speed through that swap, but the evasion's so strong. Like, that's a decent amount of evasion. That's because I also gain armor off of the evasion too. It's really nice. It's really good for my survivability. Then let's get into the items. So we have a +2. So you get the wand with the fractured crit multi, and the crit multi is convoking one that drops in delve, and then the delve wand can drop already fractured. But then if it doesn't drop fractured, you could fracture it with harvest, the fracture 1 of 3 prefix, 1 of 3 suffix, or 1 of 5 mods, and then you do your normal +2 craft with the 4-socket resonators, you know, or the 3-socket, 4 sockets probably. Get your +2, and then open prefix for the minion damage attack speed multi-mod. Here, similar, but we hit minion damage, and then keep prefix, like prefixes cannot be changed, and then I did a Veiled Chaos Orb, and I just kept retrying until I got the trigger. And a good tip, a very good tip for you is, I was going to do a whole video about it, but I'll just do it in this one right now. For this wand, you can actually block attributes. Don't block double damage while focused. Block attributes when unveiling, and what I mean by blocking is before unveiling, so you add the veil with the Veiled Chaos Orb, with the prefixes cannot be changed, then the Veil Chaos Orb. You'll have a Veil mod, and if you have an open suffix, craft attributes, the one that's from the June mod, and block it, because there's like 3 of them, and it actually has higher chances than the chance to deal double damage while focused, and it increases your chance of trigger or attack speed. Huge. I have a helm crafting video for this, but this was a nice amount of reservation. It was my spell suppression, it was my +3, it's good chaos res, it's life. You could actually get an extra zombie in this, I realized later. Then the Dread Banner aura effect is nice. Carrion Golem damage is the same amount of damage, which doesn't require you to be in range of Dread Banner, which is nicer. But then you won't have the 100% impale, and 100% impale is better than not 100% impale, but it's not do or die. It won't make or break the build. You don't need this, trust me. So you can just do Carrion Golem damage, you could do reservation efficiency of an aura, or you could do the Flesh Offering attack speed if you prefer that one. This is just a damage enchant, basically. And then the 2 implicits are the new influences, Mana Reservation and Minion Life through the Searing Exarch and Eater of Worlds. And so this is a non-influence, but a fractured spell suppression on an 85 base, because you can't drop this. The highest fractured item was 83, and the T1 spell suppression is 85, so I fractured this myself and got on my first try. Feels good, man. Then it's a Grasping Mail, global defenses fractured. So to get a Grasping Mail, you sell you sell breach rings to a vendor, and then the item level of the breach rings dictates the one you get. And if you do 83s, you'll get normal ones with these mods, and then you could try to fracture the global defenses. If you do an 86, it's a guaranteed fractured mod, so you can actually do Tujin and get 86 breach rings. You can do you can also do flawless breach stones, and there might be one other way of getting the 86 breach rings, but basically when you sell those, you get the fractured mod guaranteed, and you can hit this one and it's huge money. And then this is increased global defenses, which is increased armor, evasion rating, and energy shield. It's huge. It's so disgusting. A single mod. You can also increase the defense modifier of it with the heist mod, and then I got a +1 socketed intelligence gems with a faceted fossil. I made a video for how to craft this. It's a faceted fossil though. And then the strength, I got lucky, and fizz damage reduction I added with physical craft, augment fizz with harvest, and then the life was an reforged life, more life with harvest, and I crafted life. Yeah, it was pretty good. And then these are the Eater of Worlds and Searing Exarch implicits pride and aura effect. What a disgusting chest. And then the glove, I bought this very early on in the season. because I guess people weren't looking for spell suppression, didn't realize how broken it was, even though we just played a whole season of spell suppression. Life, Chaos Res, already good. Strength, T2, and T1 spell suppression. What? Open. Oh, and it didn't have an open prefix, so I used the new Eldritch currency, and I Eldritch annulled the prefix, where I had a 1 and 3, because you see I had the life, physical damage to attacks. I had some other shit prefix, and I actually hit it. Where even if I removed the life, like I could just keep reforging the prefixes and fix it. So the suffixes were just so good. But yeah, this is huge. Was massive for saving. And then I did the implicits for the minion damage and spell suppression. I mentioned I could raise it, and that's an enchant from the lab for extra minions, which helps your carrion golems. And then actually, yeah, you could go up to 12% spell suppression, and you could actually get a little bit more minion damage. And yeah. You could also get like increased armor or evasion on the glove, or extra life. You could get up to like 100 and something. The boot, I bought this one too. It was disgusting. I don't know how someone gets these kind of shit so early, but it was spell suppression, dex, life, lightning res, T1 move speed, so it's an 86 base, which you need 85 for the T1 spell suppression. And then I did the same thing. I used Eldritch annulment and opened the prefix and got Cannot Be Frozen, and Cannot Be Frozen is a June Unveil Rin. And then I recently fixed this. This boot now has regen if you've been hit recently, regen 2%, but I was using mana regen previously when I took this POB. I edited it now that I'm playing zombies. I finally got the right enchant, but I recommend the regen one instead. And then life regenerate as one of the implicits. That's Eater of Worlds. And then I did Searing Exarch for the Brittle Ground while moving. And then the Brittle Ground is the 5% base crit for the minions, which I'll show you again. If you didn't have the 5%, that takes them from the 100% crit to 63. And the other one, Assassin's Mark, is the 48. And that's because they have the really high amount of increased crit with the power charges and the crit chance on the treat. So it's really beneficial when we have all this increased crit to have base crit. And that's where you get your base crit is the Brittle and the Assassin's Mark. So well, yeah, I'd highly recommend Brittle on your boot, because that's such a big damage boost. Ashes of the Stars, I recommend the quality to the skills of all your skill gems, obviously, so that they have the big effects of all the alt quality gems. The reservation is useful for when you need to reserve more auras, and obviously 20% you can reserve more. Normally it has all attributes, but I got a corruption for 1 to all max res, and it was only 9x, and then I anointed Golem Commander. You can actually change the anoint on a corrupted amulet with 1 tainted oil and then the normal anoints. So with tainted oil, you're actually able to anoint corrupted amulets, so I did that. These rings, this is life, chaos res, strength, mana, and an open suffix for endurance charge. Easy clap. And if you're looking for why I have the chilling tower thing and the meteor burning ground, that's the Blight Ravage guide, Blight Ravage build guide. You can go to my stream and type !Blight, and there's a Blight Ravage guide. It has the new tower details for the chilling tower, freezing tower, and the meteor burning ground, and how broken it is. But these unset rings, I made a video on how to craft life, chaos, res unset rings, and that's what I would recommend to try to hit life, chaos, strength. And in this case, then I get the extra mana, open suffix for endurance charge, and if I had an open prefix and it wasn't a Crusader, I could try to Redeemer's Exalted Orbit to get minion damage. On this one, I have life, chaos, fire res, so fire res instead of strength, then minion damage hit on a Redeemer's Exalted Orb on the prefix, and then open suffix for endurance charge. This has been a really fucking fun build. And even just looking at it now, it's like, I should really get that little bit of extra on the glove. It's been so fun. I just want to play it even more for the rest of the season. It's so fun. It's so much fun. It even gives me some ideas of some other ideas, some other things I could do with Carrion Golems, and these new jewels. The Forbidden Jewels are really cool with what they enable of the Ascendancies, and then the Amulet, and Carrion Golems are just so fun. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the build guide, and this season of all the stuff I've done with the build. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thanks for hanging out. As the final thing for the video, I just wanted to say I'm really happy, I'm really proud of all the stuff we could figure out for this build, for the Carrion Golems, for Impale, for accuracy, for all the base PoE shit, for all the min-maxing, for the minions, and all the stuff that is also improvements for our other builds and all the other things for the future. Thank you guys for watching. Thanks for hanging out. I hope all this stuff has helped you as well, and you guys are growing and learning with me every day. Thank you guys for watching, and again, let's see if we can hit 200 likes in 3 days on this video for all the hard work and the amazing guide. Thank you guys so much for the support. I really appreciate it. And if you guys are new to the channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button for more guides. I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye.